never can say goodbye. One thing that resonated with a lot of people about Michael Jackson is this idea that he's a true American story. This idea that he is a rags to riches, black to white, boy to girl, that it doesn't matter if you're black or white. And he said this, he kind of hit us over the head with that video. And I encourage you all to look at the videos, Can You Feel It? But especially from Michael Jackson Bad and Black or White. Look at those videos on mute. And just look at the images that he's portraying. He's really saying it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Because here he is, this character in the middle of a subway in Bad. He doesn't look anything like them. He's not dressed anything like these B-boys. But he's saying, we can work this out. That it doesn't always have to come to this genderized, racialized, class-segregated conflict. Who takes the metro? Who's there fighting in the metros? Who's fighting? Who are the criminals and the violent ones in our society? Men, more so black than white, more so poor people than wealthier people. And this is one thing that resonates with him in our society, because he often, not only did he talk about it in his music, but he lived a life of crossing all those lines. So he was a black boy who became a white woman. He was a poor kid who became a wealthy man. He was a boy who became this, girl or androgynous yet sexually charged being. So even anyone could be attracted to him. And it's just fascinating to me that people are cultivating a kind of sympathy, perhaps empathy with him. And I do think that it's undercover empathy, because we are a society that lives with abuse, that lives with child abuse. And I'll give you several examples from Michael's life, from our lives. And I'll use, some instances that I've seen or heard of. So Michael's talking about, his brothers would get beaten, hit, yelled at, all of these things during rehearsals as a coercion to rehearse. But not Michael. His father, Joe Jackson, would wait with him. Come on, Michael, we're going to dance. And they're going to, do all this stuff, and with a belt in his hand. And how many of us abandon our children in such a way that we hit them when we don't have the creativity to think of the words, to explain to them, when we haven't built the trust with that child that we can say, wait a minute, we aren't talk about it right now, and as a matter of fact, I'm angry about it, let me cool down and let you cool down. We don't have those skills because we don't demonstrate them to our kids, and if we don't learn them critically as adults, then we will likely never have them. And so this is something that resonates with us, with Michael Jackson. And when he lived it too, and he got over emotional abuse, coercion through violence, emotional sexual abuse. Imagine Michael Jackson, young boy, going on the road with his brothers, Christian boy, so they don't even talk about sex at home. Much like we don't even talk about sex in school, much like we filter out any sex and sexuality from our curriculum, even exclude people who exude any kind of anything that's different from the normative sex equals gender paradigm. We exclude those people from our schools, which means that, it is hard for a queer person to be a teacher. Yep, and there are a few administrators who will be able to negotiate the relationship between a queer teacher being a mentor to students and the parents. I think a lot of schools and principals give in to that pressure of the very conservative, fear-driven parents. These are the same parents who, don't explain to their effeminate, boy child or butch girl child what's going on. But these are the same parents that abandon their children at puberty. They see that they have interest in boys and girls, and they don't teach them about their bodies, let alone others' bodies. They don't teach them the language of negotiating their own sexuality within themselves, let alone contending with another individual. For most of us, there's silence. For a few of us, there are the birds and the bees talks. Neither has proven sufficient to prepare us because we are a nation that is very juvenile sexually. How? Because look at this. Even as adults, we abandon children. So um, we have this child, Michael Jackson, who is singing these adult songs about love and, abandonment and heartache and just, falling in love and borderline sexuality. And we allow this to pass by. I think part of it is that what resonated for many of us is that we look at that boy, and we look at those boys on stage, and we listen to what they're talking about. We see their harmony, their coordination, and it's complex. And we see that their rhythm. We even see this with Janet, as the years progressed. There's a lot of love going on there. There's a lot of fellowship, brotherhood and sisterhood. And that the Jacksons that they exude that love even as they're talking about romantic love. So even they're saying, even girl, I love you, but I'm here with my brothers. And you see that interestingly in Bollywood. Men dancing with men, women dancing with women. There's always this brotherhood, sisterhood narrative that underpins the romantic, the love, or the loss, or both, sees everybody through. I remember I choreographed a piece at Oberlin to another star, and it was me and my two sisters. We were talking about love and abandonment. I was talking about a love that I had lost, and they were my sisters who were there. They supported me. They mourned me when I sort of fell. They helped pick me up when I fell. And this is what I believe is very attractive, is that there is a sexual energy, but it is not just blah, tip drill kind of sexual energy. It's not pornographic. It's not, Monica Lewinsky, kind of sexuality, but it's Hillary Clinton kind of sexuality. In the light of Monica Lewinsky, that says, we're going to negotiate something more mature than just, you yet again, all this shit about, this man and that man. I mean, that very immature. If he ever does this, I would, and all the ways that we would abandon one another. Yes, I said that. I said that when a man cheats, that is our fundamental issue with the Hillary Clinton, is do we leave? When we cheat, do we just leave? We are not good at negotiating difference. As a matter of fact, we are so out of it that we're just into addiction. And so when we see someone like Michael Jackson cutting up his nose, mutilating himself, spinning himself to death, we do the same thing. Again, it resonates with us. He might, slice his nose to death. We'll eat ourselves to death. We'll twink ourselves to death. You know what I mean? We'll create an entire lifestyle around our addiction. Credit. We will borrow ourselves to death. We cannot stop spending. Got to have. When actually it's just got to get, because we're actually unfulfilled. And that's what their message was. It was something totally counter to that. And I do believe that this is what resonates so strongly, is that they're able to say, I can negotiate my sexual energy, my romantic energy, my erotic energy, with my energy of fellowship, of my love for humanity. All those things I think that made the Jacksons so attractive to us, more so than any other pop star that only had erotic energy or only had this folksy kind of energy. They had both, weren't afraid of both, embraced both, and it is that kind of narrative that is the genuine American story. It is our rhetoric. And that's what I love about this man so much, why I miss him so dearly, is that is our ideal. We have someone like Obama that actually has to convince us that change is okay, when even in our school systems, we don't embrace change. In our homes, we teach children intolerance. It gets reverberated like a boat smacking the water, like waves from home to school, in our municipal government, our county governments and state governments, on up to the national and international level. We don't know how to make compromise. For us, compromise just means sacrifice. Well, it doesn't just mean giving up. But listen to Obama. And watch how he listens. And repeat that with your kids, with your spouses, with your coworkers, with your parents. love. All the children of the world should be loving each other.